Hello everyone. This video presents a notable event that happened on each day from the past week in history. On September 10th, 1960, Abebe Bikila, representing Ethiopia, became the first ever sub-Saharan black African to win an Olympic gold medal by taking first place in the ultimate event of the Summer Olympics, the marathon race. The 26.2-mile-long marathon is a grueling race and is possibly the premier event of the Summer Olympics, but the fact that Bikila won the race while barefoot gives this story an entirely different angle. Bikila was a last-minute substitute runner, and no shoes that fit were available for him, leading to his running barefoot. Nearly as incredible as the 1960 Olympic story, in 1964 Bikila came down with appendicitis and underwent an operation 40 days before the event, yet he once again won the marathon and earned his second Olympic gold medal. What Olympic story do you find to be the most bizarre? On September 11th, 2015, the city of Mecca, the holiest city within the religion of Islam, was the scene of a horrific accident when a crane collapsed at the Masjid al-Haram, also known as the Great Mosque, killing 111 and injuring another 394 people. The deadliest crane collapse in history, the deceased victims included believers from 12 different nations as devout Muslims were preparing for the annual Hajj pilgrimage. We have previously discussed notable disasters that struck religious gatherings or places of worship, and again we ask you, what do these disasters mean? Do you believe God is somehow testing or punishing his own believers? Are these incidents mere coincidences? Please share your opinions with us. As a question for my students and subscribers, what is the worst religion-related disaster you can think of? Please let us know in the comments section for this video. On September 12, 2013, the American Space Agency NASA reported that its spacecraft Voyager 1 had become the first ever man-made object to leave our solar system. Known as interstellar space, the space beyond our own solar system is also described as the heliopause, a region beyond the reach of the solar wind effects of our sun. Interstellar space begins about 11 or 12 billion miles outward from the sun. For perspective, most of our space satellites are between 100 and 1,000 miles above the Earth. The International Space Station is about 260 miles up, the Moon is almost 240,000 miles away, and the Sun is 93 million miles from the Earth. Voyager 1 has now been on its mission for 45 years and is more than 14.6 billion miles from the Earth. Is the enormous cost of the space program worth it? On September 13, 1977, American automotive giant General Motors made one of the epic blunders of its long business history when it introduced the Oldsmobile diesel engine, an attempt to quickly gain an advantage in the race to improve the miles per gallon performance of its cars in order to compete with more fuel-efficient foreign cars. Produced from 1978 to 1985, the GM automotive diesel engines were hastily adapted 6- and 8-cylinder gasoline engines made to work as diesels. Despite initial public enthusiasm, the terrible unreliability of these engines spelled their early demise and cost GM a ton of customer confidence and credibility. Other candidates for the worst U.S. car blunders include the Ford Edsel, the Chevrolet Corvair, the Ford Pinto, the AMC Pacer, the Chevrolet Vega, and the Cadillac Cimarron, among others. Which American car do you rate as the biggest blunder? On September 14, 326 AD, Helena of Constantinople made one of the greatest discoveries in Christian history when she found the Holy Sepulchre, the crypt where Jesus was entombed, and the true cross in Jerusalem. Splinters alleged to have come from the so-called true cross, upon which Jesus is said to have been crucified, have been sold to unsuspecting believers over the years. Many blatant, easily disputed religious scams have taken place, and we list a few for you to choose from as the biggest religious scam of all time, although you are welcome to nominate your own choice. The aforementioned true cross, the holy prepuce, the foreskin taken from Jesus during his circumcision, the imminent demise of the world as we know it having been wrongly predicted a bajillion times, and purchasing indulgences for God to reduce punishment for your sins. Which religious scam do you believe is the worst? On September 15, 1948, a North American F-86 Sabre flew at a world record 671 miles per hour. Today we ask you to tell us which jet fighter deserves to be named as the greatest of all time. We list a few contenders, but you can name your own nominees as well. The USA's North American F-86 Sabre was the premier fighter of its day, with a production run of 9,860 of all varieties. With over 13,000 produced, the USSR's MiG-15 was probably the most prolific jet fighter of all. Although only 1,200 of the USA's McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle were built, they have been in service since 1972. Over 5,000 of the USA's McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom II were built, serving the U.S. and its allies for 60 years. Well over 11,000 of the USSR's MiG-21 were built during the last 30 years of the Cold War. On September 16, 1979, the rap music trio the Sugar Hill Gang was formed, and they released their hit Rapper's Delight, the first rap song to land in the Billboard Top 40 as a mainstream hit song. Today we ask our music-loving fans, what is the greatest rap song of all time? We list some to choose from, but feel free to name your own pick. Rapper's Delight, Sugar Hill Gang, 1979. The Message, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, 1982. Baby Got Back, Sir Mix-a-Lot, 1992. I Used to Love H.E.R., Common, 1994. Lose Yourself, Eminem, 2003. And Rap God, Eminem, 2013. As a question for my students and subscribers, what is the greatest rap song of all time? Who is the greatest rap artist? Please let us know in the comments section for this video. As a question for my students and subscribers, which event from this past week in history would you most like to learn more about? Please let me know in the comments section below this video. If you like this video and would like to receive notification of new videos, please feel welcome to subscribe to History in Headlines and become one of our patrons. Your viewership is much appreciated. For image, music, and other credits and attributions for components of the individual videos in this compilation, please see the descriptions of their respective videos, which are linked to in this video's description.